Hi.
Oh my God, I don't know how to work Zoom. I was talking and then I was like, she can't hear me. Great. I'm nailing it.
Well, I don't know how to work it either. I just started figuring it out and I think I got it.
Soup switcher from Gracefully Fed. Soup switcher, say bye bye to bread. If gluten's been a bitch, then ditch her with soup switcher.
I think you're nailing it. Also, look what I did with your soup.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You're the best. You're the best.
I mean, I also couldn't have your soup without cocktail.
Oh my God. I have coffee. I had to like wake myself up. I'm exhausted.
I know. This life is rough. How are you, Tracy?
I'm so good, Carly. How are you? I haven't seen you or really spoken to you other than like me DMing you about like face rollers and like sidekicks in a really long time. We're talking to Carly Hughes, actress extraordinaire. But there's so many things that I want to ask you and I love about you, so I wanted to delve into that. But if you want to start with the soup, I am fine with that.
I mean, let's start with the soup because I was like, but it's in my face and it smells so good. I have the French onion. I haven't tried it yet because I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
The only thing it's missing is the big chunk of sourdough that I put in my freezer and forgot to come out. Because, you know, I like to sop it up.
I should have also.
This is so good, Tracy.
Thank you. I should have given you gluten-free croutons, which go good with the French onion, which makes the most sense.
But also it doesn't matter because I'm gonna eat this whole thing anyway. Right, I'm gonna eat all the onions out and then I'm gonna drink it.
You do you, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad you like it. I mean, you've ordered for me before, but like, I guess my thing was, well, you don't really have a restricted diet, right?
I mean, kind of. I don't eat red meat or pork, and I haven't since middle school. And I don't eat tomatoes and a lot of fatty and fried foods just out of like habit. But I also have Crohn's disease, so I mean, technically should be watching what I eat, but mine is not on the severe side. And also, I can eat healthy as an ox and still get a flare up from Crohn's. So I'm not as specific. I was never told a specific, like, stay away from, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I'm kind of like that as well. But and let me ask you this. I mean, you staying away from like red meat, pork, would that help me sing better, do you think? Like, do you think that it would make me a better singer?
I just died. Yeah. Yeah.
I have to write this down because
yeah, you might wake up the next day and be like, ah!
That's all I want. Let me just preface before we get even into more food stuff. When I met you, we met through a mutual friend. I knew that you were an actress. I knew that you were on American Housewives. That's really it. Like, and then you guys did me a favor. I was having a flare. You drove me home from Vegas to LA. And in that car ride, I fell in love with you. I fell jealous of you. Like, I remember saying to you, oh yeah, like I want to be on Broadway. And you're like, yeah, I was on Broadway. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God. I remember that because I was like, yeah, I was. I thought you knew, but I just said it. I remember your face being like, you were like, why didn't you tell me she was on Broadway? And I was like, I thought she.
But then you told me everything. And like, then you were actually going on vocal rest that like the next day for something. And I was in awe for like a good 2 hours of that 4-hour car ride. I'm like, tell me more. Tell me everything. Like
that was a good car ride. And we got Popeyes.
Oh my God. I think I held your hand at one point and cried. I mean, it was a roller coaster ride.
Very close.
I loved it. But no, so your life as a Broadway actress, like, is something I always dreamed of. And that's how you eat soup. And that's how you do it.
You eat it and it gets all over you. Like, if you're not making a mess going, what's the point?
Right. What was I going to say? So back to eating, I I flare up too with or without food. Like there are days where like, you know, I'm the same, but I try to stay restricted so that I don't have lots of flares.
Same.
But one of the things you also do, so through this whole pandemic, there are two things that I religiously watch. There's like these infomercials on Instagram where it's like foundation, and like the girls are always like, I can't believe it's like matches my like, and I watch it over and over because I'm like, should I buy this foundation? And then I watch Cooking with Carly. It's my favorite.
You stop it. Because you watch me being a good goofball.
I love it, and I think like if we weren't in the situation we were, I would want to cook with you.
We have to.
I would want to, and I would want to eat like a lobster roll. Like
I would make you a lobster roll.
That's what I'm saying. Like I mean, I could watch your videos all day. Like, do you love doing those? I love them.
Sometimes, sometimes I loved doing them all the first like 10 months of this pandemic. So it was like, and I'm quarantined alone, so it was an excuse to talk to people, even though you're not talking about it. You're still in your kitchen by yourself, but like the interaction that I'd get, from comments and messages. So it was fun. And then it got a little harder because like my appetite goes like this regularly. Part of a side effect from Crohn's, but also like, years of doing Broadway, and, you can't eat before the show or you can't win. So there are some times where I'm like, I don't feel like cooking because I also don't cook for one. So I end up having so much leftovers, which is good because I love leftovers, but then there's no room in my freezer. And then it's like, do I feel like cooking a whole meal? So towards the end, it became a little more difficult because I kept not having an appetite, but like the whole rest of the year I did. And I love cooking when I have an appetite because I'll eat all of it.
I know, I was going to say, like, you made jam one time. And I'm like, what's she going to do with all that jam? Like, what is she going to do with all that? Right.
It's gone.
And then you recycled it somehow, like a few days later in another recipe. And I'm like, that's what I love, because I love your way of thinking when it comes to that stuff, but I love those videos. I mean, it's also heart stalking because like you do it and it's so personable and you're like, boop, like, and I'm like, I get it. Like I'll boop myself. I'll boop together.
Yeah. I mean, my mom started watching and I taught her how. She's like, I don't get it. You're just being silly. I was like, yeah, I'm just being myself. She's like, well, don't you have to, be something else or be professional? I was like, no, the point is to be myself. And she was like, oh, well, you're doing it. I was like, thanks, Mom. But she just thought, which is also, it said a lot for me, in this world of technology and social media and things, if you're like, I mean, am I being my most authentic self? I don't even know about it. I don't even know what it is anymore. That like, if you're a grown mom who will call you out on everything, it's like, you're just being yourself. And I was like, I win.
I still don't know like angle, like I don't know how to angle. I just figured out like a ring light. I'm like so proud of myself for that. Like, I'm like, great. Like, I can't, I'm not somebody who could take a selfie and know where it's gonna, like, I wish I was that.
It just takes practice.
Well,
it just takes a little practice.
I have to say, like, if I roll, like, you're dedicated to face rolling, and I feel like if my face looks like your face, I would take pictures of myself all the time.
This is what you have to do. Okay, I'll give you homework. You take a picture, like take 3 selfies, Saturday or Sunday. However, and then use your face roller religiously every day for a week, and then take same 3 selfies like at the end of 7 days.
This is homework, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to edit this video and do a before and after picture.
And now, mind you, I face roll and moisturize. So, but you got to do
so much.
I do so much, but I don't do so much every day. I used to reserve, especially before I got really busy, for like the weekends. Every Saturday, I'd do like a whole treatment. And but I do wash my face and I moisturize every day, exfoliate every other day or something like that. That's like bare minimum.
Okay.
Because you can do that in the shower.
I'm doing that. I'm going to start this week. Like, I have the face roller. I bought it because of you. I was super excited.
And you could do it while you watch TV. You could do it while you Zoom your nephew.
I could do that, except I'm like busy eating chips. lentil chips. It's like my new thing. It's all
They
I
have
eat.
them at Home Goods. They have them at Home Goods all the time, and I'm always like, "Is that good?"
They have every flavor. They're so good. You need to try them. You know what I also love that you do on Saturday? I think it's Saturday mornings. It's all because the weekend always runs together for me.
Together, yeah.
So I don't know. So I like that you answer
It's
all these
Saturday.
questions. Like people ask you all these questions and then you also sing a song. So
Yeah.
like I've learned so much about you. Like I know that you listen to Motown while you're doing your cooking show, and that's like your favorite kind of music to listen, because like everybody asks you these questions
Yeah, they
every
do.
weekend, which is kind of
Oh yeah, ask me something Saturday. I think I came up with that like first month of quarantine. Second, I was bored, and I also mainly because I didn't know how to work Instagram. I kind of still don't, and I had never used that option. So I had a friend. I was like, "How do you do that thing where you ask somebody a question?" Because they had just done it, and she told me, and I was like, oh, "Welcome to Ask Me Something." It became a regular thing, but only because I learned how to use the daggone question button.
I still don't
And
know
then
how
it
to
took
use
me
it.
another
So
7 months to realize you could change the color. I had no idea.
there's so many things that like you could do now that like I wish I knew how to do. But that's, look, I do what I can, and the fact
I
that
do
you're
what I
doing
can, and
it,
it's brilliant.
but I did a little piece of Chicago in this one woman show that I wrote. So I like
Yeah.
learned a little bit of the moves. And then I watched you do it on YouTube, and like I should put it side by side, like my before and after picture. I should just put side, and then like not have me sing, just have you sing. It's just upsetting.
I can't. Please do it. I would live for that. Oh, please.
Let me ask you this. What was your favorite someone's asked this already. What was your favorite Broadway show that you've ever worked on?
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, that's a hard question because I was lucky in the shows that I got to do and the few that I got to, say yes or no to. I'd say Ghost was one of the most fun I've had on stage, because we always said it was like going to Hogwarts, because we did all those tricks on stage. Like Sam went through the wall, the penny slid up the wall. Like it was pretty insane. We had like a 2-week, what we called, it was ninja camp or magic camp, whatever we called it.
That's so cool.
That was really fun. But I think my most favorite would probably be the last two that I did, which were stop it, they're behind me, Pippin and Chicago.
Fine.
Because Pippin, I've never worked that hard at a role and used that much, all facets of my talent in that capacity and that much ever. And to this day, I've not been stretched by a role ever as much as that. And then Chicago came after that. I got the offer because of that, and I was like, "I'm sorry, you're just offering me?" And it was Velma Kelly, and it's a dream role. So like, and it's Fosse. They're both Fosse. Pippin is Fosse as well. So I was just like, cool. I'm living my best life.
You're living my best life. You're living my best life. I love it. I love it. How did you, let me ask you, because like, I'm just trying to live vicariously through you. Like I'm assuming growing up, you always knew you wanted to be on Broadway. Well,
I didn't know what Broadway was, Trace, until like high school, because we didn't grow up. My family is not, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Not that they're not cultured, because they are, but they're not into theater.
Yeah.
They were cultured in other ways. So therefore, it wasn't passed down to me. And we didn't grow up with the means or the know-how to go to Broadway or what it was. You know what I mean? And so I could sing before anything. Like when I learned to talk, I was singing probably before. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll be a singer because I love to sing and I'm a singer. Even though I sounded crazy as a kid. And then I would started in like middle school, high school, elementary school. I started renting VHS tapes from the public library, the Howard County Public Library in Columbia, Maryland. And because they had a musical section, and I was like, what's a musical? What is that? Yeah, in 5th grade, when I did my first musical. And so I was like, there's a section called musicals. I just grabbed one. And that's where I got all my interest and realizations and training and stuff because I was watching all the golden age stuff because they had it all on VHS. And I remember watching, always being like, oh, it's so cool that they could do that back then. Like it would be so nice to do that, but they did it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that I thought you could still do. And then the stuff that I saw on TV or at the movies as a kid, I was like, that's what they do. Like it was very separate. It wasn't like, oh, and I could do that too. It was like, those are those people that do the acting thing or that are on my movies. Because that's not how I grew up. Then I got to middle school middle school. And one of my friends said something about theater. And I was like, what's theater? And she was like, like the plays that we always do. Because I had done like all the school. And I was like, that's theater? Oh. And then I got to high school and I was in dance company and we took a trip to New York to go to Broadway. And I was like, wait a minute. One of those VHS tapes mentioned Broadway. What you talking about, Willis? And it was like, I was like, wait, Broadway's still around? But I knew enough to know not to say that out loud.
Right.
Somebody would have clowned me. But my mind was blown because I was like, wait a minute. This is still, because I was like, this is still around and I didn't know. Nobody told me. And I've missed out my whole life on this. Like that's where my little brain was going. And my first Broadway show was Footloose. And we were in a dance company in the balcony and my friends was like, you could do that. And I was like, I know. But I was like sitting there riveted at Rusty, who sing, in Footloose, she sings Let's Hear It for the Boy in the musical. And I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. They're doing this now in person. I'm gonna do. I just remember these thoughts in my head because, I wasn't raised. I missed the Tony Awards until I was a grown ass adult because I didn't know. My family didn't watch that. It's just a testament to like what you grow up around, what you're exposed to and what you're not exposed to, and then how much you take it upon yourself to do it, going into later years, because I didn't take no dance lessons. I mean, I know how to dance, but it wasn't because my mom enrolled me. She couldn't afford it.
I wish I took.
Also, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing of like, she should be she was like, well, she's dancing in her room again.
I love it. I mean, I remember the first show that I saw that I was like, oh, man, I really want to be on Broadway. And mind you, I never was on Broadway. So it's two very different stories. Was Starlight Express. I remember seeing Starlight Express and being like, yep, I just want to wear roller skates.
Yep. I'm about to roller skate my dreams away.
Yep. This is it. This is the one. I love that. But
I love it. Starlight Express.
It was that there was a show called Serafina that I went with my mom, and I remember being like, I want to do this.
Wait, Serafina, like the movie that Whoopi Goldberg did? What?
Yeah.
There was not a musical on Broadway.
Let's Google. Hold on. I'm
Let's
almost
Google.
positive.
I was like, how did I miss this? This is what I'm talking about. My childhood. Missed it.
My mom loved it was on Broadway. Yeah. I went with my mom.
What year was it on Broadway?
1988.
Never would have known. Got it.
See, this is the thing. Like, my mom loved Broadway, so I went a lot. So maybe that's what happened. Like I went.
No, it's true. No, it's true. But that's what I'm saying. Like my mom loves watching stuff if I'm in it. But she's originally from St. Louis. My whole family, like there was no Broadway. What the hell is Broadway? Not a thing. Most of my family, it wasn't a thing until they realized Carly's doing Broadway. And then they were like, what is that? And then, I educated, the vast majority of my family of what it is and what it means. Of like, oh, that's a job? You get paid for that? You know what I mean? Because we didn't grow up going.
I wish like nobody had to pay me. I would have been happy to just be
kickball change in the corner.
I don't even know how to do kickball change. No,
yes,
can't even do that step.
Oh my God. That's the next experiment is dancing with Tracy.
I would love for you to give me a dance lesson. I want to see you on Broadway. Like when can we have that?
Yeah. I mean, I have to get my Tony. So
ooh.
Yeah. And also like, so behind me are posters from all the shows I've done, and I'm missing 3. So I have to go back so I can get more posters for my entertainment when I buy my house, right? I don't buy a house yet. I had to buy a house yet. And I have to go back because I have to get my Tony.
I really want you to get your Tony.
I mean, it has to happen. It's just about the right project. But having done as many shows as I've done, and in New York as long as it was almost like 15 years. I know enough now to be specific. The same with TV and film. Like I know to be specific. Like a theater show is not like I get to come and sit down and drink lemonade and say a couple lines. It's 8 shows in 6 days. Vocally, physically, mentally, emotionally. You have to be, some don't. I envy those that don't. I have to be able to want to invest that much of myself because it is a lot and it takes away from other things. That much of myself in a project again, even without the expectation or payoff of a Tony, I have to be able to go into it going, well, if I don't, that's okay because I want to do this. Because I'm not doing that physically or vocally or mentally 8 times a week, for what we get paid, which is not TV and film money, without it being a project that you're like, I believe in this and I want to do it. You can't sustain that.
But
Are you gonna get the vaccine, Trace?
I've
been going back and forth.
I am going back and forth too. So I'm going back and forth because obviously I have an autoimmune. And is that why your reasoning behind it?
Well, that, and I can't see my mom or my family if I don't. And that and what I do for a living. Like I'm gonna have to kiss somebody in another show.
Well, you did a movie. You just recently did.
Yeah, but we were tested every day and we were quarantined while there. Now, if I'm on a TV show, that was a movie. So it was 14-week shoot, a 14-day shoot. If I'm filming a show here in LA, you can't quarantine because people live here. So I don't know what you're doing when you leave. And you're tested every day. But if you're still not, if you're being willy-nilly, then I'm still at risk. You know what I mean?
No, I'm in the same boat. So I haven't seen my family. I'm assuming you haven't seen your mom in a year.
My mom, my dad. Anyway, I haven't seen my mom since December 2019, Christmas. I haven't seen my dad since July 2019, or my sisters.
Right. So I haven't seen, my sister-in-law flew out here during the summer with my niece, and
I remember I saw that and I was like, oh my God.
But so you get it. So, and then, they're all vaccinated. And so my debate is I react really strongly to medications. I am allergic to everything. So my biggest fear is having a reaction because I react to like Citromax, to Cipro. Like I've had really bad reactions. So I'm nervous about that. And we don't know yet about autoimmune, what the long-term.
We don't know anything.
We don't know anything, but it's like the chicken or the egg. I'd rather have maybe a reaction from the vaccine than to have COVID because.
So that's what I came down to is that it's now like, okay, do you risk the reactions from the vaccine for 24 hours max and then you don't get it or you don't die? Or do you don't get the vaccine and you still are putting, you still can't see your family fully. You still are not as safe going. I had to rationalize this for myself. So then I was like, okay, because my mom just got over breast cancer. So I was like, I kind of have to get the vaccine. If it leaves me more protected from long-term effects from getting it, from dying from it, for being hospitalized and able to see my family, then and able to work safely, because again, at the workspace, you don't, especially with what I do, it's like dating. You don't know, especially if you're filming in a big group, camera, hair, makeup, sound, wardrobe, actors, like you can't control all those people.
I turned down a bunch of pilots this year. This is the first year in my entire television career I've turned down pilots. Yeah. And I turned down pilots, and I said to my producers, I was like, look, I hate doing this because I don't want you to not call me. But my fear is going back around that many people. I mean, and they've been really
and that's
nice
why for you, Trace, I'm like, I kind of feel like, I mean, it's up to you depending on what vaccine you want, but I kind of feel like it will help in that aspect, because then you could go back to work amongst those people.
I mean, I'm like you, like every time I think about seeing my family, I get emotional. Like
I know, I'm like,
yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've been going back and forth, but I want to get on that plane and I want to go home.
I want to see my mom.
I also follow Amanda Klutz, and
Yeah.
you know, her positivity on all this and getting the vaccine. Recently she went to get the vaccine,
Yeah.
and then
she's
she
still
got
gonna
all
stand
that
by.
shit.
Yeah. And I was like, everyone can eat a bag of dick. Like, excuse me. First of all, her husband, Nick, was one of the first people to die from it. 1, 2, she didn't do anything illegal. She didn't take one shot from anyone. In fact, she did it correctly. If those people complaining looked up the rules and did it themselves, they'd be vaccinated by now, probably.
100%.
Every place offers standby, which is another reason why I decided to do Johnson, is because Moderna and Pfizer have to be kept at a certain temperature. So if by a certain time those shots haven't been used, they have to use them for the day. Johnson can be kept at a regular temperature, so they're not going to ever, they're not going to go bad. But that's why they give out standby shots.
Oh, she made such a good point. And she made such a good point, and she was just like, I did everything correctly, like, and I'm doing this for me and for my family, like, and you know what, I 100% agree. So like, that's where I'm at. And like watching her get it, I was like, I feel like I should get it. You know what it is? It's her, she's so positive.
Yeah.
Like she's such a positive person that like, it's just crazy.
You're just
but
like, yeah, I can do it.
Right. That's exactly how I felt.
I mean, it's true.
You.
Well, let me know what your docs, I'd be interested to know what your doc says, because I feel like, as far as I know, most docs are like, get whatever vaccine you can, but if your numbers are good, when is that? You find out next week?
I find out next week. He said, I would never tell you not to get it. He basically said that my only concern with you is that you react. Like I react, to very small doses.
Well, and that's what I was saying. My mom, and that would help you determine which shot to get as well.
I think there's there's fear there, but then you've been through, like in my mind, I'm like, I've been through pain. So I could deal with if it's 24 hours, I could do it. I've been there before, but it's scary. So
I know it's scary, but at the same time, it's like you said, did you go pee pee? Hold on. You want to see the doggy?
Yes, they do.
Come here, Bubba. If it's like we've been saying, then it's like, do I get a reaction for 24 hours and I'm fine, or get sick and I'm, look at Figgy Pudding. Look at Figgy Pudding.
My God. She's so cute.
She loves to nap. She loves to cuddle. That's why I'm like, let's get out of this potty training phase when you can go play with your shit and then come cuddle when you want, because that's all I want. I was like, Mom, I didn't get a dog to play with him all day. I was joking. But also, no, I wasn't.
Look, if I could find a guy who follows me around everywhere and is just thankful,
I was like, why can't I find a grown-ass human male who's just thankful for me? My type.
The truth of it is that, and I think you're the same way, I kind of like my life.
Yeah. I was literally like, this whole year, girl, I was like, if I was quarantined with someone right now, I would have kicked them out.
Yes.
Because I'm so good by myself, which it could be a bad thing if you look at it as like, but, and I don't need anyone. When I'm with someone, I'm choosing to be with you. And so if, it's not balanced, or you're not trying to be, or it's not right, I'm quick, fast, in a hurry. Like, I'm good. I like being by myself.
Same. I'm like, I have so much TV to watch. We don't need to talk.
So much. Like I watched Ginny and Georgia on Netflix in a day and a half.
Really? I've been watching this Australian show called Offspring. Have you heard of it?
Wait, no. What is it on? Apple TV? No,
it's on Netflix. They just brought it to Netflix.
Oh, no.
I'm obsessed with it.
Is it a reality or is it a?
No, it's about a family. They're kind of messy, and it's the middle daughter is an obstetrician, and she's an older sister, younger brother, which I am. I have older sister, younger brother.
Oh, you're the middle, yeah.
So yeah, I love it, and one of the leads love interests for like a few seasons. I think I'm in love with him.
I mean, I think I'm kind of gonna marry him, but like, you never know.
Are we dating? Maybe in my head.
We're dating. It's fun.
I have one more question for you.
Go for it, honey.
Do you think, when you're singing and you're gonna do your show for your Tony, do you think that you'll need a lot of soup because soup is so good for your vocal cords?
Absolutely. I
And
mean, like,
where,
this is the reason why I ordered Gracefully Fed during the pandemonium, because I needed a reset. Because with cooking all that, you know, and I cook fairly healthy, but then I do have days where it's like, it's not the healthiest, but I know me, I'm not going to eat it forever. But eating all that food, I don't even eat all that food normally. I'm like one meal a day still, you know. I was like, I need a reset. And that's when I ordered Gracefully Fed, because I was like, my stomach needs a reset, and all of this is healthy. It's not going to irritate. It's actually going to like boost, you know, my system up. And so I did it for, I think I got enough soups for, I remember I ordered all that soup.
no,
I got
you
enough
ordered a
soup
lot.
for like 5 days, and had a soup a day. And I was like, great, reset the stomach, reset the gut. And so, yeah, when I get on Broadway, I would be like, I need you to ship me 7 days at a time.
And like when you're Tony, and obviously you don't have to thank me, but in my mind, when I'm like posting, oh my God, my girl Carly just went on Tony, I'll be like, it's because
She made it there through Gracefully Fed. She was gracefully fed, y'all.
yeah, I definitely will post. I'll make it about me. And obviously, because I've always wanted to be on Broadway, and you're doing
like,
it.
I'll be like this. This is like having a little piece of Tracy with me. Don't you dare, you dog. Yeah.
All right, we'll be good.
Tracy.
Thank you. All right, I'll talk soon.
And all that jazz and convolution is and almost dying down. And all that jazz, starting a car, I know a movie spot where the gin is cold but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all that. She was a video switcher in TV at the time. Then whoops, suddenly that girl's got Lyme. Her health is back on track cause she switched up her diet, and now she's forcing all her friends to try it. Soup switcher from Gracefully Fed. Soup switcher, say bye bye to bread. If gluten's been a bitch, then